Hello everybody and welcome to All the Mods 10. Yes, you heard that right. We are finally hopping into the world's biggest mod pack. And of course, first things first, what we gotta do is chop down some wood, get our basic resources, and then we'll go from there. So, let's just go like this, and there we go. We now have a stone paxel, which is a multi-tool here, and some basic resources. Now what I want to do is check out our quest book, which is going to be accessed via this or a keybind, and here we are. Welcome to All the Mods 10. ATM10 is a kitchen sink pack that allows you to explore the world of modded Minecraft in your own way. Now getting started here, we have chapter 1, which we've gotten a decent way through just by getting some basic stuff and coal. Now what I'm going to do is head up here, and as you can see, we got a bunch of rewards from doing all of our quests. What I'm going to do is simply claim all these, and let's see what we got. And here is what we got right here. Not too shabby. We've got a couple ores, some food right off the bat, which is going to be good, and of course, lots and lots of wood. So, now that we have this decent start, what I want to do is go check out some structures, loot them up, and I'll be back here in a second. And here we are, structure 1. Let's see what's inside. I don't actually recognize this structure, but it doesn't seem to be a dungeon, which is good because there's iron golems right here. Okay, any chests? Nothing yet. What about up here? Oh, we got some hay bales. That's going to be good food. And some storage with nothing in the barrels. What about up here? Ooh, we got some villagers. I'm going to kidnap them. We just go like that. And what about this chest? Nothing. But hey, at least we can turn these hay bales into bread, like so. And now let's head on to the next structure, which is going to be this temple right here. Look at that smooth transition. Okay, what do we have? We got a lot in here. Bones, gold, ooh, emeralds, that's always good. What are you? Amulet of teleportation? I don't think you do anything. And we have some catalyzing glands, which we can take. I know what those do. And there's nothing else much of use in here. So, onto the next structure, which is going to be this battle tower right here. Now, I don't know how much battling there's actually going to be, because it doesn't look like there's any bad guys, but we can get some loot here. We got a good iron hoe, more wood and wheat. What do you have? Wood, bones. Okay, not too shabby. What about in this barrel here? Anything? Ooh, extra food. I will take that. And some more cobblestone, sure. And then at the top here we have a chest, which is typically the best loot. As you can see, 7 iron ingots, name tag, and crossbow. I'll take that, that way we can defend ourselves. And now onto the next structure, which is this cute little windmill thingy here. Now, luckily enough, we do have a bunch of crops down here, so I'm going to grab these. Luckily we can vein mine, harvest all of this. And we have, it seems like a little miniature village in here with a bunch of chests. Oh, that's good. And we got some armor in this chest here, which, don't we have? Yeah, we have a piece that gives us +2 max health, which essentially equivalates out to an extra heart. And then this one has +3 max health, which means that in total we'll have 2.5 extra hearts, which is symbolized by the orange there. Oh, and we've hit the jackpot here. This thing is called a waystone, and if we get 2 of them, we can basically magically zip zap between the two, allowing for easy transportation. Oh, and look at this. We've got a cow trophy from killing a cow, obviously, and we can put it in our head slot, which will allow us to essentially have a little hat of the cow. Okay, so now we are down here in a mine shaft, lodged with an arrow in our helmet. We have a slight issue. Our inventory storage. But if we combine a chest with 4 leather and 4 string, we can make a backpack which holds a chest full, which is already amazing. But the even better thing is that we can actually upgrade it so that instead of having just one chest full, we can already get 3 chests worth just by making it a gold tier backpack. And we can save even more inventory space because instead of having it in our actual inventory, we can throw it into our curio slot here, which will allow us to open it from there. Now, if you couldn't already tell, I have added some texture packs in here just to make the game slightly more appealing for me. If you don't like that, then I'm sorry, but that's how it's going to be. Such as this GUI right here. I just feel like it makes it a lot more cleaner rather than the boring white UI, you know. Um, but yeah. Oh, that is... that's an ancient city. Okay. Well, I guess the only logical thing that we should do is go loot that and get OP. So, let's hopefully not spawn a warden right off the bat. And let's see if we can get at least a chest or two. Never mind, I found something better. Some diamonds. Take that. Oh, and we have some ancient vases here from Deeper Darker. Oh, and they have loot. Okay, that's good. Uh-oh, that's a shrieker. Ooh, that's a bad... those are leeches. Okay, let's maybe not open up the vases. I'm just gonna hopefully find chests. Okay, so we are going to set off our last shrieker here before the warden spawns, but we have a chest, so that's good. Now, one thing I want to do, actually if we can, is type /r's light on, and this is going to allow for us to have dynamic light, which is going to be really helpful in scenarios like the one that we're in where we can't see anything. So let's head back over to this. Actually, I could just probably break the shrieker. Yeah. Think smarter, not harder. And of course, all of the loot here is bad. Okay, well, let's hope that this next chest that's right over here is better. Come on, don't be a shrieker. Okay, it's just one. We can break that as well. Yeah. Okay. Ruined book. I'll take that. Ooh, mending. That's good. Some more armor. Bones. And that's it. And there goes our last little shrieker. So I'm going to grab this quick. Anything good? Not really. Okay. We gotta go. But not before we grab one last chest. Okay, just grab everything that looks good. Okay, so now that we are out of that ancient city, we found a place to settle. We have these amazing spiral kind of things here. That's not where we're living though. We are actually going to be settling in this area here. We're going to build up some areas, make some amazing builds. But first, what we got to do is get some basic resources. That way we can build with them. And honestly, it's not going to be super hard to get these resources. But first, I want to flatten out a little bit of land. That way we can get grinding. And there we go. So, first things first, let's set down our bed and some storage. Okay, there we go. We got our stuff in here, and now let's get to automating. So, the first thing that we're going to need is some glass, which shouldn't be too hard to get. And then we're going to smelt it up like so. Then the next thing that we're going to need is some regular stone, so let's smelt some of that too. And then the final thing that we're going to need is a lava bucket, which shouldn't be too hard to get. Let's just open up our map and look around for a lava lake, which there's one right there. And to ensure that we can get to the lava and back pretty quickly, what I'm going to do is actually use these waystones, and we're going to name this one home. And then we're going to head over to the other one, which I'm going to set right there. And now we have our lava pool here. So I'm going to grab that and that. And now we can head back home and use all of this that we put together to make an iron farm. Yes, you heard me right. We just got a simple iron farm from that. And now we're going to place these down here. And we're going to grab those kidnapped villagers from earlier this episode. And we're going to set them in there, and these blocks will basically simulate an iron farm, where eventually a small iron golem will spawn, which we can then get the iron and poppies from. Now the next thing I'm going to do is make an ore hammer. That way we can combine it with some raw ore, throw it in the furnace, and we basically get double the amount that we would originally get. And we're going to use that iron to then make a cobble gen, like so. And how these work, well, they're actually called block generators, is that we can put custom stuff, like custom inputs around it in the world, and that will allow us to generate various resources rather than just cobblestone. Now it's important to note that some of these recipes actually consume the source block, but we can actually use a little bug in here. That way we can kind of exploit it. So here we are, we're going to place this one down. It doesn't need anything beneath it since we're just generating cobblestone. Then we're going to have water and lava, and this will slowly, if I'm not mistaken, produce, yeah, cobblestone, which we can get from right clicking or by putting a barrel above it, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Now, I don't want my boring barrels, so I'm going to make sophisticated barrels, just like so, from the mod sophisticated storage. And this is going to allow us to upgrade them in the future. That's what I did with these ones as well. That's why they're like that. And we're just going to set them on top. Oh look, our iron farms are working. But if we set it on top, as you can see, the cobblestone's generating. But I don't want just cobblestone. I also want regular stone. And I don't feel like smelting it all. So what I'm going to do is place down a stone block right below it. And then since the water is going to be consumed, we're going to place it one away. That way this is flowing water. And now, if we place our barrel on top, we should get stone generating. And the last thing I want to get is some obsidian, which again is not going to be super hard. We just have to quickly go like this, and then hopefully grab the obsidian. Please don't burn. Okay, round 2. Perfect. Now this one's actually going to consume the lava rather than the water. So we're going to place the water there, the lava there, and now it should be generating obsidian. Look at that. So with our cobblestone, stone, and obsidian generating, we should have a decent amount of resources to build with. But I am going to generate one last thing, and that's going to be wood. Now, I don't know if you know about this mod, but there's a mod in here called Botany pots, and they're crafted like this. But if we want to automate them, I'm going to put a hopper there. So now, if we just place one here, then we should be able to just place some dirt without it hopefully lagging my game. Oof, that was bad. And now all we need is a storage below it, which in this scenario I'm also going to be using a barrel again, just because I think it looks better rather than a chest because a barrel's a full block. So there we go. And now all we're going to need to do is add whatever we want to plant in here. So in my case it's going to be a sapling, and I think oak will be fine. So we put that in there, and it's going to slowly start growing, which is going to get us the materials. Now let's check up on our iron farms here. How much have they made? Yeah, in just a couple minutes they made 15 iron, which is amazing for 2 of them. And of course we can add on, which I'm going to be doing in between episodes. We are going to be expanding these cobble generators because you can create so much more than just these rocks. So we're going to be making other rocks as well, such as azurine, whatever that is, kiwi, ochrum. You get the whole deal. Now before we get to building, there is one last thing that I want to automate, and it's similar to these cobblestone generators, how they work, but it's called an extractor from Zycraft. And for that, we're going to need to find a cave. Whew. That way we can find kiwi, which luckily enough we only need one of, because just like the other stones, we can eventually automate it. And that's not it. Let's see. I think this is it right here. Yeah, kiwi. Let's grab some of that. Type /home. And look, we're already getting some resources from this. But we're going to need to make something called an item port. And then we're also going to need to make a piston. And then the last thing that we're going to need is some aluminum, which was not hard to find whatsoever. So now with all that said and done, let's make the extractor. And this will allow us to make various things like amethyst, different resources, a lot of stones, and dragon's breath. Now the main reason I want this is to get lava up and running. So what I'm going to do is make a fluid tank from mechanism, like so. And now all we should need is, well, that's it. So let's do this. I want to put in the ground here. So let's put the lava, the dripstone, the extractor, which I'm pretty sure has to be facing down, and then the pipe. So let's put this downward. Okay, I've done my research. The reason why we can't funnel it in is because we actually need to make a Zycraft tank. Now this is going to be a multi-block, which isn't too hard to craft. We just simply need this valve, which requires a fluid port, a machine base, and any of the gems from this mod, which can be found in these caves. And they're honestly quite common, so don't need to worry about them. They're going to be, not to be mean, but the weird looking ores. Stuff like that, right there. That's the ore. So let's jump down. Oh, that went bad. Let's just quickly grab this, or this one works too. And let's get out of here. So now that we have this valve, what we're gonna do, I don't know if it allows glass or not. Oh, hold up. I think I'm just dumb. Let me try something. I think I made this a lot more complicated than it needs to be. I think that we just gotta do that. Yeah, that's correct. And then we place our barrel, or not a barrel, our fluid tank. Where's it at? There it is. Lava. And as you can see, it's going to start slowly filling up with that cool little animation. And then we can just grab our bucket, and from here we can simply right click once it gets to 1,000 and get the lava out of it. Okay, so now that we have iron, rocks, lava, and wood automated, I'm going to expand on this and start building, and I'll be back here in a second. And a second later, it is, or should I say a day, yeah, it's been a real life day since the last clip. If you're wondering about this armor, I found it in a tower. Yeah, as you can see, we've done some exploring. I found it in a tower somewhere, and if you do want to make it for yourself, though, it's just like this, using an apparatus. Now, we'll eventually get into Ars Nouveau. It's not going to be too hard, but just know that there's a secret room that holds these armors, and then I dyed them to be this gradient. But what did I change? Well, you can see it, there's a lot different here. It's very overgrown now. That's because I moved my villagers, my rocks, and my iron farm all under the ground here in their separate little layout. That way it didn't look too ugly. Now we still have this. I'll deal with this later. But I decided this is a very, very rough mock-up, by the way. But I kind of want to have like a beach here and a little stone cliff face. This is just a little test run to see how it would look, and I think it looks amazing. Now, I really want to try to build out a little city here. So, like, do stuff, and as you can see, we start our first thing. Now, that thing is this hobbit hole, made by yours truly. I decided to take some design inspiration from Reddit and then or Pinterest, and I used these framed blocks, which aren't too hard to craft. It's just like this. You use these framed cubes, and then you can use the saw crafted like so to get all these different shapes from the cubes. Kind of like how a stone cutter is. And then in here, we have all of our stuff moved in. Our past armor. This came with the little armor set. I'll deal with that later. We're not really using any of that. I just wanted to set it down. And then we have our furnaces, our storage set up with big upgraded barrels, as you can see. And we also upgraded our furnaces to this emerald tier, just surrounding it like how we did with our backpack, with like iron, gold, diamonds, and emeralds. That way we can just smelt stuff really fast. Here, I'll give you a good example. Let's just throw in some oak, and look at that. Very quick. Now, as for the wood farm that we put up, I have a little trap door here, and I went around the world, hence why we got this map here, and collected all the saplings that I could possibly get, all the different crops I could think of, and we have them all growing here with this beautiful mess. Now, if you want to see the results of the oak farm running, here they are. We have whatever 28 times 700 is because you can actually compress most like average blocks. That way it doesn't clutter up your inventory. And let's type this in. So 28 times 729 is 20,000 blocks of oak logs right there. And it doesn't take up any space, as you can see. So now that we have all of this done, I want to do one last thing before we head out, and that is show you my brand new terraining skills. Yeah, I've been working a little bit. I put this little smooth arch here, and we're going to have like possibly a cove or something here. I think that would be nice having like a little cave, and then we could have a fishing dock. I'm going to be doing this building off camera, by the way, but yeah, that's kind of what we did in that day. So, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy episode 1 of All the Mods 10, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Also, here's the seed again if you do want to join with. The version is version 7.3 of the mod pack, as they have different versions, that way they can update the mods and such. And yeah, so I'll see you guys all next episode. Goodbye!